Good evening, students. Welcome to Unacademy YouTube. How are you guys doing? Very good evening. Hi, Urja. Good evening. My name is Urmi, ma'am. Welcome to the class. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the class. Hi, Aditi. Very good evening, beta. How are you? Where's Rashi? Is she yet to join? Where are the other plus kids? Okay, so guys, very quickly today, without wasting any time, I have kept this class because it's your final exams are approaching. We were supposed to have a 2 hour marathons, but yes, because most of the kids had doubts in the first book, and they were like, "That can we do it in two parts?" And I'm doing great, Aditi. I'm doing great, Beta. So I thought that let me just start in taking two parts. So yes, welcome to the class. That this is for your final examinations. So by the way, Unacademy plus subscription at a flat 10% off, which is applicable till the 28th. That's the end of this month. Please go ahead, check it out. You cannot miss this. Okay, so that's a bonus. Now, welcome to the class. My name is Professor Urmi. I am your plus educator, verified CBSE plus educator for class 11th and 12th. That's for sociology, psychology, and entrepreneurship. There's a little about me. Most of you guys have already met me and interacted with me on my sessions. For anybody who's watching my video right now, all the details of my class 11th telegram details and channel details are given below. So go ahead and check it out. Also, my referral code is given there. That's Urmi Live. If you use my referral code, you get a straight 10% discount. Also, the referral code discount, a flat discount, the one which I told you, you will only get a flat 10% applicable till 28th of Feb. So let me remind this to you. Now, there's an amazing feature of ask a doubt feature that has commenced in an academy, and in the learning app you can actually go and see this. And this is a wonderful feature which an academy has brought for all the students. I'm sure now when the exams are almost near, you will need and require this feature most often, very often. Also, you can ask unlimited doubts. You can ask a doubt anytime you want. Okay, you get a high quality video solution in English and Hindi. Okay, not just this, you will receive exact matches for your questions, whatever you actually wanted to. Okay, this is going to be helpful to you in so many ways. You can obtain instant and accurate solutions to lakhs of questions, what you guys require and what you guys need. Okay, and you can get assistance with homework. So yes, always, like I tell you guys, that go and check them out. The new features are really amazing, and you will make the best out of it, and you will ace your examinations if you join and enroll for the same. Now, how to ask a doubt feature. Now let's come to that place. Okay, you basically click on ask a doubt feature. Okay, then after that, once you click on it, you take a picture which you choose from your gallery. Once you're done with that, then you can go ahead and see that it will give you an idea where you can actually click a picture of your question, post it there, and the next steps followed. Now, this is a wonderful feature which an academy has launched, and I am sure you guys will definitely take an added advantage of this benefit, that you can ask your doubts and you can get a clarity of whatever you want, anytime you need. Not just this, the fourth step is basically crop to highlight the specific question which you want. Maybe if you're doing it from a question paper, okay, then you click on the subject where your question falls in, the criteria which you want to do, okay, and then and then you select sit tight, you'll receive the solution of the same. So this is for your benefit. So these are the few easy steps which will help you to get your answer and solution of your question. Now, the features of Unacademy, of course, like I told you, पढ़ाई कब होगा, पढ़ाई अभी होगा, इसके पहले game trick and fun. Please tell me your name, beta. Welcome to the class. इसके पहले let me tell you guys that the plus subscription features are the best, which give you practice, which give you top educators, and which gives you mentorship and guidance whenever you need it, with all the study materials you need. And there are different batch courses which we have commenced. Okay, so yes, all these things which I have shown you have now begun, and have you can get unlimited access to your study materials. Okay, learning from the top educators at a comfort of sitting at your home and learning things, I think is not a very small thing. It's a huge thing. Now we have some Unacademy batches which have already commenced from the 25th. These are the Let's Crack optional examination batches. Okay, for class 11th. Hi Payal, good evening. Welcome to the class. Welcome to the class. Okay, now these are the optional batches for class 11th and for class 12th, which you can go ahead and check it out. And you will understand that we have not just kept these batches, but there are so many. We have also kept some batches for class 12th, that's for the pre-boards work. Let's Crack Physics. Vinod Kumar sir takes a batch from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Manoj Kumar sir takes it from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So these have also commenced from the 25th. Okay. Now these are the latest Unacademy subscription pricing, which I am showing you. The class 11-12 subscription, that's for plus, and the other one which is for the iconic. Now all the subscriptions which are new, you just go ahead and check it out on your tab. You will get an idea about how and what it is done. Okay, the iconic feature, you already know that it gives you the one-on-one connect with your mentor, who is also connected with your parents, where they will get all the ideas with open hours. Okay, and where they can comfortably share their doubts, and they can inquire about the concerns with your tutors or the mentors. All right. So yes, this is the iconic subscription plan which I just told you. So the pricing you see starting from 3 months to 24 months, these are the plannings and these are the prices which we have for class 12th, 11th, both, and they differ. We would suggest you to go for a high end package because, of course, your exams are not going to get over in 1 month. You need something to study for the entire year. And that's the reason we always tell the kids that go for a package which is going to benefit you, and think of a long term investment on yourself, because yes, you will require it not just for one subject, for at least for many, in case you take up the plan of iconic or plus. And now, yes, definitely use a plus 10 code and get a subscription flat till the 28th of this month. So use it, and my referral code is given down there. You can use it and you can avail the same. The batches, along with the batches, now we begin the accent championship. That's a transcript academy, what we bring to you, from the Unacademy, which bring to you for acing your final examinations. So please move ahead, and these promotions are done for your benefit, because these are the things. So if you know that today people have given this exam, I'm not sure if you've missed it or not, but I'm telling this thing and I'm showing this slide to you one more time before you miss out the next month's batch. So make sure that you remember this. Okay, and now tomorrow onwards we have pre-board batches which are going to commence. Okay, so it's the 14th of February to 18th of February, 3 to 6 p.m. You can just go ahead and enroll on the learning batch now. To download the app on Google Play or Apple iStore, use your code plus 10. Okay, and get all these features for free. All right. Now, to begin with our chapter, first thing, okay, of our chapter number 1, that's sociology and society. This chapter shows you, okay, please remember, as we start with the chapter, you guys can have the book in front of you, and all the chapters of book number 1 we are going to cover. Okay. Hi Rashi, good evening. Welcome to the class. How are you, beta? Okay. We are going to cover all the chapters of the first book. So please remember, any topic, any chapter you want, let me know and we will start focusing from there. Okay. All right. Is that okay, guys? So let's begin. The first chapter of Sociology and Society brings to you the advice of society, and your experiences are not just based on common sense. Society is more than that. Society is more than common sense, with having different sort of socioeconomic background, where different kind of caste, different kind of creed, different kind of people, and also where you respect to understand the market, which has also defining different sort of outcomes. This concept of sociology has brought about several other disciplines in our country, and this is the reason, okay, and this is the reason how economics, political science, history, and all the other streams are a major part and parcel of sociology. Now, when someone says that, okay, why are you doing this, how will you get a job, they have just given you a normal segmented example that how people in our personal life or involved in our social life ask us questions, and they are based on different efforts or different styles. Now, why is it, that sometimes they're asking you a question and suddenly it becomes like, but you're a girl, but you're a boy. And then the gender comes in the picture. Okay, the gender comes in the picture because right now you're not just discussing about the social factors, you're not just discussing about the economic factors, but here you're also discussing about the genders. Now, the point here, when we are discussing that what determines the economic and political policies in our life, okay, leads us to take another aspect of a sociological imaginations, sociological understandings, from the difference where people do not know what is the difference between personal life and a public issue. People do not understand the concept between these two. These are also given you from the sources is from your NCRT textbook, where they have mentioned that C. Wright Mills rest his vision on sociological imagination precisely in the unraveling of how personal and how public are related. You know what he basically wanted to say? C. Wright Mills' book was named as Sociological Imaginations. Please remember, if you guys get a 2 marks question or a 1 mark objective, even in class 12th, that this fellow actually told that it is about the public and the and the private realm, and the difference where you're trying to unravel the entire concept of personal and private or public. Sociological imagination enables us to grasp history, biography, and the relations between two within the society. Now, here it is about the immediate relation. Here it is about understanding the society on a much more beautiful way. Okay, how we grow up knowing our family, knowing our parents, knowing what they do for us and what we do for them, but suddenly we understand things of caste, religion, okay, men, women, because it is a major part and parcel of our society, and it is a major part and parcel of the environment we live in. Okay, now when we speak about class, we also bring into picture about illiteracy, about employment, about unemployment. Why do you always say, okay, this is your salary, how much do you earn, okay, this much, all right, okay, then you're from this class, middle class. Someone who's earning a lot of money comes from a business class. Someone who's coming from a well settled place will belong to a rich class. The difference: peasants, low class, middle class, upper class. Similarly, Dalits, Brahmins, Shudras, Kshatriyas, these are all the basic ways of casteism, and also which reflects your ethnicity. The concept of stratification. Now, here they have given what is plurality and inequalities among the society. When we say society and when we give a reference that one society, our society, it is obvious that we're speaking about the Indian society or the Indian culture, maybe. But when it refers to few group of people saying that our society, it might be their community, it might be their religious or caste people. Okay, somewhere or the other, it is very important for understanding that why pluralities and inequalities among societies play an important role. Because as Indians, we use the term our society to denote our linguistic and ethnic identity, our identity, that this is us. But perhaps the only reason why we basically try to map a society on the basis of us, our, and based on culture and diversified structures. We say India is a diverse country full of cultural diversity. It's rich in its culture, it's rich in its heritage. Absolutely. But here you're also mapping the most difficult thing, that is mapping community, religious, you know, um, ethnicity, culture. Now, while reflecting on what to focus, the great filmmaker Satyajit Ray also showed a paragraph here where he tried to bring on the entire concept of, sound and milieu, saying that there was one guy, okay, there was one guy who was supposed to be a Dalit. And in Satyajit's comment, we actually saw that this fellow, a famous quote from Amartya Sen, okay, perhaps illustrated that how the differences are being seen from a person who belongs to a, background of Dalit to a person who's quite literate. Every single thing, okay, every single thing has been a part and parcel of how caste and creedism has been seen here. Okay. Some philosophers give a theory of psychological constitution of masculine and feminine in family setup. The man is reduced to slave. Urja, very good answers, but right now we're studying sociology, beta. I don't know why you're trying to bring U.S. presidential women and this and that. We don't require this in this book one chapters. Sole objective of feeding the women and children. The developed countries like UK gave this. Okay, all right. Nevertheless, Urja, please, I would request you to concentrate in the class better. Okay, because it's a full drill syllabus which we are doing, which I would want the guys to focus because it's book one, and we need to really buck up so that people, anybody who has questions from the chapter, from sociology, from the book one, please go ahead and ask. Okay. So others, everybody till here it's clear. Do we move ahead? Just give me a yes, no, so that I understand if you are understanding. Okay. Now the thing is, when we speak about paragraph question, class 11. Urja, yes, I know that beta. We are going chapter wise, so I'm going to give you your answer chapter wise. All right, Rashi says yes. All right. Okay, fantastic. Let's move ahead. Rashi, Aditi, both of you have said yes. Okay, great, great. Now, when we speak about this quote of Amartya Sen, the entire paragraph, they actually showed, okay, they actually showed that how these people, okay, are being treated. They were treated like dirts. Okay. These are the different kind of inequality. And each of them requires serious attention. Each of them requires serious attention, guys. Okay. This was being mentioned even in the previous time when we are speaking about inequality. Okay. Next one, when we are speaking about introducing sociology. Of course, sociological imagination somewhere or the other has been a concern of sociology, which is an interconnected whole. So our discussion on the individual's choices, okay, is about not just to an extent why we are, we are putting up in the society, but also about our own behavioral changes. Okay, Rashi, Aditi, and all of you others, whoever is watching the video right now, please ask the question which are relevant to the chapter because we are doing a final exams drill. Okay. So, Urja, if your questions would have been from this chapter, I would have definitely taken it better. But we need to complete four chapters. So, I'm definitely going to take the chapter, the questions which are from the chapter. Okay. I hope that helps. Moving ahead, in our everyday life, we speak about ourselves and the society. Okay. We have different sort of observations in our society. We have different sort of desirable way of living about a society. Okay, so in the next chapter, and chapter number 3, on the social institutions chapter, you will actually see and observe how we are speaking about personal thinkings, how we are speaking about different sort of findings, how we are speaking about different sort of likings. Okay, and we are speaking about groups, collectivities. So why and how we are speaking about the conflicts that capture the information which are used by, the intelligence or the opposing side, which play a very, very important role. Now, the spy example I had given in the previous class also. Okay, that sociologist, when they're trying to think of this way, and when there is a spy who's probably working for some other country, and suddenly he or she is giving some other, wrong information, when the reporting ideology also only fails, then it is of no use. So you can actually see that the reporting in terms of his own ambitions, or when his or her superiors, consist of the information free of bias. Now this is a very important topic, where you basically are trying to do things but you're not apt in it. So does this mean that sociologists have no social responsibility, when a sociologist is a spy in the very same way, is the question. Okay, see, sociology is very much bound by scientific canons or procedures. For example, if I say this is right and I suddenly at the second moment I say no, I paradox my own statement. Now that's what I'm trying to ask you guys, that I'm paradoxing my own statement. Okay, it means that the statements that sociologist arrives at must be observed, and through the informations and the observations of rules which he or she is defining for further findings. Okay, hi Reena, good evening, welcome to the class. Reena, I'm not ignoring, beta, how are you, please tell me. Okay, now when we move ahead, there's a difference between, or a debate between, these two things. Okay, natural science and human science. Okay, quantitative and qualitative research. So see guys, what is important here, which I have to tell you, many people have asked me that what is the difference between quantitative and qualitative research. Quantitative is basically when we are discussing about something which is happening, and when you have a proof in terms of quantity, like for example, you've done a research, you have the questionnaires and you have every single part. But whereas when it comes to qualitative, qualitative is when you're just trying to give your assumptions, when you're trying to define things in different concepts and elaborate the same. So, in the next section, we are basically comparing sociological knowledge to common sense knowledge, which again will emphasize with the different role of methods or different observations, which is given in chapter number 5, which is basically deleted for you guys in this year, on the doing research, the sociology methods. Okay, that was a very interesting topic, which probably is now deleted, but really is an important chapter. Okay, it would have been really fun, but nevertheless. Now, why should we study the beginning and growth of the sociology in Europe? Now, I'm going to give you a gist of it. See, guys, we have to study sociology because the changes which has come into picture from the 18th and the 19th centuries, with the advent of capitalism and industrialization, or whatever we have seen which has happened post, the colonialism period. Okay, that's very, very important. Hi Rani. मैम आप क्या बता रही हो? रानी, दिस इज चैप्टर नंबर 1, सोशियोलॉजी एंड सोसाइटी, बेटा. ठीक है? Okay, for anybody who's watching, along with Urja, let me tell you and let me clear, this is class 11 sociology, guys, book 1 revision. Okay, so yeah. So, the growth of sociology in India, please mark this question for anybody who is actually listening for your final examination preparatories, and my lovely kids, all Rashi, Aditi, everybody. Please remember that this question can be asked. That please define and please inform about the growth of sociology in India and why colonialism plays an important role. See, because it was not just necessary for us to read about Europe, but we have to actually understand that post the growth of Europe and whatever has happened, how did it bring a change in the Indian context? Okay, sociology had to also deal with Western findings. Okay, it was also about the correct ideas which accounted into colonial effects. And not just that, along with the Western countries, sociology also played an important role with anthropologies. Sociology also played a role with different type of streams and disciplines which we are discussing in the next slide. So what was the scope? That it was having relation with other social science disciplines. So it was the most important part here, that scope of sociology was very wide. Okay, and it focused on the analysis of different aspects, okay, with mere individual interaction on the larger social issues. Now this is a very important aspect because the scope of sociology and its focus on analysis can be really broadly classified into most important categories. Okay, level of interaction, when you have an interaction with people around you. Okay, social interaction, different kind of environment. Now you have a relation, you have an interaction even with the shopkeeper where you go to buy a product. That is also a an social interaction. And bhaiya I want this, bhaiya I want that, and they give it to you. That's also a social interaction. You also have a social interaction with your family members. Every day you are being with them. That also plays an important role. Okay, now there are different national issues which impacts the public. There can be different inequalities. There can be different rural in-depthness. There can be tribal rights. There can be different norms and values. Okay, these issues specifically, to one particular society or nation play an important role, because right now we are discussing about one particular society or a nation, and how the rules and norms play an important role and is intact when it comes to tribal, when it comes to the other policies of the nation. Very, very important. Next, what are the phenomena? So global social processes are those which are impacting the larger human population. While studying such phenomena, the focus of analysis for sociologists, which might include the impact of, labor regulations, it might be universities, it might be education system of our country, anything. There are different phenomena. See, we need to know things about sociology. We need to learn more about sociology. Otherwise, how will you actually benefit from it? How will you understand what is your culture? How will you understand the significance of the same? And all these things are really very, very important. These are the basic ideas and the scope of relationship along with the different disciplines: economics, political science, history, psychology, and anthropology. What does your relationship with social sciences state? This is chapter 1, that it brings to the social sciences groups of anthropology, economics, and all these other subjects. Now, this is point number 2, जो आपके चैप्टर में वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट प्ले करता है. So please learn all the major relationship with these disciplines. Okay, so what are it? History. Again, second is political science. Third will be again economics. Then comes your next part of psychology. Next is again anthropology. However, these disciplines differ in terms of selective interest. Okay, whichever you want, whichever you would uh, relate to, whatever interests you, these play a very important role. Okay, so sociology and anthropology, please learn about these things. Please learn about the types of research, whether qualitative, whether quantitative, orally or in writing levels. These definitely play a very important role because here we are speaking about the disciplines. Next comes the part and parcel of this chapter where you're exploring society and sociology. Okay, so your idea is not just to know about personal and private things. It is also to know about general concepts which are beyond practical understandings. Okay, now I hope the previous chapter of chapter number 1 has helped you. This comes the second chapter, that's terms and concepts in our society, and why is the role of terms and concepts play an important role. Now, what do you mean by terms and concepts? Now, we often come across the place where we say, what is your name? Why do we say, what is your name? Because it gives you an identity. And this is the identity which we require even in sociology, where you can understand words like stratification, caste, where you can understand terms like social solidarity, okay, or collective conscience. These are few of the important terms which are being given by different sort of sociologists. Okay, for example, the collective conscience was a key term given by Emily Durkheim. Division of labor, what do you mean by division of labor? All these terms and concepts are very important because we are out to know that what is the reason behind using these terms, and why do we use these terms, how is it benefiting us, how are the changes making a difference in our life and contributing to our lives. Okay, we're going to learn about the emergence of sociology in this chapter. Along with this, the most important part, that we are studying about the post world war period. We are also discussing about the post colonial period, which somewhere or the other was the most important, uh, fortunate or unfortunate time, where things changed for the good or for the bad or for the worse. Okay, the social entity, the concept of railways came into picture, the concepts of rule came into picture, the concepts of dominance came into picture. There were different policies which came into picture, and to understand all these points, you basically need to know what is a special term and concept in sociology. Then why do you say, what do you mean by social structure? What do you mean by social control? What is stratification? You need to know na, that it is the segmentation of class, it is a segmentation of the middle class, lower class, higher middle class, something like this, higher class, rich people, poor people. The basic differences which you need to understand through this chapter of using special terms and concepts in sociology. Now, there are different social groups and society. Now, when we speak about social group, you need to understand you cannot survive alone. Also, you need to understand not every people who are standing in a big crowd becomes a group. Now, when I say this, these kind of people are known as Kasi group. When we are speaking about collective people, when we are speaking about no hidden agenda, when we are speaking about, uh, you know, uh, any gathering, okay, that becomes just a major highlight as a Kasi group, what I'm trying to say here. Okay. Now, what exactly is the definition of a group, and what do you mean by a Kasi group? Again, what do you mean by a group, and what do you mean by a Kasi group? Can someone tell me? Can someone tell me the difference between a group and a Kasi group? Correct. The we feeling is missing. Absolutely correct. Kasi, correct. Very true. Hi Nitesh, how are you? Welcome to the class. Yes, I remember you. How are you, beta? Okay, so I think this account of Urja Saxena and Nitesh Bhandari is the same. Okay, so I think this is some unknown person. I would really appreciate if you guys come with an account of your name, guys. Study, you guys are here to revise. Okay, all right. So, very good answers, Aditi and Rashi, both of you. Very well answered, guys. Very, very well answered. Now, the most important part of these groups are when, when people are going in a theater, when people are going in a railway station, they do not become a group. They're basically aggregates because the we feeling is missing. Okay, they do not have any connection with each other. When you say that, okay, I'm going to the airport, you don't say we all are catching, we all are boarding the flight, you say I only. Correct? Correct. Group is equal to number of people gathered together. Fantastic, Aditi. Very good, Rashi. Okay. Now the most important part here is be it be anyone. It can be Asian. It can be the European. It can be the African. They all have human groups. Okay. They all have human groups. Why do they have it? Okay, Rashi says an aggregate or combination whose members may be unaware of the existence of groupings, for example, age groups and gender groups. Fantastic. See, I told you. I'm glad at least this is the only chapter which is going on plus, no, right now. So I'm good. I'm glad that you guys are learning it properly. Now the catch, yes, like Rashi answered, any gathering of people, like which does not constitute a social group, an aggregate are simply collections of people who are in the same place at the same time. So Rashi and Aditi, very well answered. Congratulations, very beautifully explained. Not every person, when in a huge form or in terms of a group, becomes a group. Okay, they might just be an aggregate. So that feeling is very, very important. So yes, this picture shows you an impact, an idea about how a Kasi groups looks like. Okay, that they do not have any organized structure or pattern. They are just together without that we feeling. So that we feeling structure is missing out here. Okay, next is the women's movement. Okay, the women's movement brought about the idea of women group and organization, and all these examples, okay, for example, the attention to social groups which emerge, change, and get modified. So a social group can be said to have at least few of these following, and these were important because the women were supposed to get equal rights, which they were not getting. They were being discriminated. They were not being given that right. They were not being given. Thank you, ma'am. It's only because of you. No, it's not because of me. It's because you guys have studied. So, both my lovely, lovely kids, Rashi and Aditi, you guys have worked hard. You guys have studied. You guys have come to the class regularly. And that is the reason you are able to answer and you're able to give answers so beautifully. And I'm glad and I can proudly say that you guys will get very good marks in your exam. Okay, now let's move ahead. The social structure here, which refers to the patterns of regular and repetitive interaction between the individuals or the groups, okay, refers to the continuously interacting process where where you share common interest. It can be culture, it can be your linguistic approach, okay, it can be your norms with the given part of the society. Now, these are very important factors which you need to keep in mind. Okay, so the norms, values, and all of it, and the different sort of groups which can be defined, it can be either primary or secondary. Primary can be a very close knit group, which is your people, your zone. Secondary can be on a larger space. It can be a school, it can be an hospital. So primary can be, for example, your family. Secondary, on the same hand, can be a school or can be an hospital, can be XYZ where you go to take a service. Similarly, community and association is different. Association is different. In group and out group, and then peer groups. Peer groups is simple. It's about your friends, about the people who are just in your same age group. In group and out group, in group is when you have that we feeling. For example, the students of a school, when they are together, it's an in group. When there's someone who's coming from outside to that group, comes across as a part and parcel of an out group. Now comes to community and society. Okay, the community and society can be more of the people. Okay, where you can, get into cultural differences, where you can have cultural understanding, where you can have human uh, just a gut feeling of being into the same culture, being into the same caste, creed, etc. Whereas association is a long term thing. Now that depends, that even if you are a part of community or a society, it's not compulsory that you will have an association with that person. Now that's an important key point. Okay, so the types of group, primary and secondary groups, these two are playing a very, very important role. And please learn about the definitions of community, association, society, in group and out group. Now these might come for 2 marks, so please pay attention and please pay focus to these questions, which might be asked in the exam for at least 2 to 4 marks. Okay, now why do you actually identify yourself with a group? Because of somewhere, sometimes you feel that, okay, my culture people, these people are all Bengali, so I'm a Bengali, so I can get into it. Okay, some sort of information about culture, some sort of information about lifestyle, some sort of reference group. Now reference group, usually people try to imitate what is happening. A lifestyle which you are leading, somebody else is trying to copy it, somebody is trying to mimic it, because they also want to lead a life like that. That can be a reference group. There can be a peer group. A peer group is basically a kind of primary group which is usually formed, okay, between individuals who are either of the similar age, or maybe who share a common interest. In terms of a professional group, it can be anybody, it can be a friend, it can be a colleague, it can be anybody. Now here, the peer pressure refers to the social pressure which is exerted by one's peers, that's friends. Okay, what you have to do and what you do not have to do. Okay, your friends are doing this, so you also want to do it. Your friends have not done it, so you don't want to do it. Now this is the kind of comparison we have seen. This moves us to the topic of stratification. Now, this is about the existence of structured inequalities. Now, here this play a very important role, because we are discussing about the groups and the society, in the society. Okay, you need to understand that this is about a strata and a hierarchy. This is about the less privileged, and this is the people who are, doing inequality. For example, there are people, okay, who are simply, staying in a place where they're using terms like strata, or you're not a people of my strata. Strata means status. Why do we say that? Because you're trying to bring a comparison here. And how and why? Because of the reason of matching up the social status. His status is high, mine is low. Mine is high, his is low. Now, this has not just happened now. This is also based on the opportunities of health, longevity, security, success, sometimes your financial stabilities, instabilities, etc., which we do not belong to, but we aspire to be like them. Correct. That's a reference group. Rashi, very well answered, beta. Okay. So now that's a major part of social stratification, where you would want to be like people. Okay, where you sorry where you would like to want, to differentiate the people in on the basis of their socio-economic growth, or opportunities, or lags. Okay, now caste is again a system where the individual's position totally depends on the status which is ascribed by the society, or by rather achieving something in the course of one's life. Why do you divide? uh, Therefore, we try to emulate them the lifestyle, correct? And how will you explain the emulate their lifestyle here, Rashi, with an example, if that's being asked in your question? Any questions still here? Yes, Rashi, correct. Like what they wear, we do like to wear that. Correct. That is there. That's a very important part and parcel here, which is about the comparisons. Okay. Now, this is a major part where we are speaking about casteism. Now, this is a structure which was defined in terms of purity and pollution. And if you remember the entire concept and theory which we are going to study, which we have studied in the book number two of Indian Sociologist, where we have studied about M.N. Srinivas, we have studied about A.R. Desai, we have studied about Ananta Krishna Iyer. These are the people who have actually explained the urbanization and the industrialization and the uh, caste different and segregation there, if you remember. Okay, the pollution over purity and pollution. Okay. Now, when we speak about the concept of industrialization coming into picture, okay, modern industries which brought different type of cities and cosmopolitan hotels, restaurants. Okay, these things happened post our industrialization. These things were never there. Okay. However, these things happened and the casteism or these things were vanished because sociologists wanted to bring a change. Okay. Now, while change did take place, which was very very important, discrimination not was not very easy to go with. People still discriminate. Like I can read that, oh, I do not like Bengalis. That's a great comment. Uh, Now, because I'm a Bengali, I might feel bad, but I will not because I know that sometimes people have an habit of discriminating people. Okay, that the caste is different, the creed is different, the religion is different, the society is different. Discrimination keeps on happening in our country, not just our country, others also. How we take it, how democratic we feel, and how we actually give it back is very, very important. So please remember the caste, okay, and the interest groups have gained strength. We have seen discrimination. We have seen the discriminated castes which are asserting into their democratic rights today. Example, the tribals. They were not being given the rights they deserved, but today they're trying to own it. They're trying to earn what they have missed. They were treated like dirt. They were not supposed to have water from the same tap. These are the key features which we have studied in sociology. And also coming to the factor of class, we have studied about class. We have studied about the theory of conflict theory, functionalist theory. We have studied about the most important sociologists. We have studied about Karl Marx, Max Weber, Emily Durkheim. These are the people who have brought the concepts. And in democratic society, there is nothing to legally stop a person, okay, from the most deprived class and the caste to reaching the highest position. If they want, they can. There is no stopping. Okay. So, ma'am, is it a 1 hour class or 2 hours class? Yes, beta, this is a 1 hour class because apparently there was one more class of economics today. So that's the reason team told me. That's why. That's why I took a 1 hour class. So Rashi, the second part will be also taken the same week, beta, very soon. Okay. All right. Now moving to the next one was the status and the role. The two concepts of status and role are often seen as twin concepts. Okay. Why? Because status is simply a position in the society or a group. Now, this is not just in regards to what your money is or whatnot. Now, there are some people who are very rich, but they do not have these segments of showing status. They do not want to show their class. They still sit down and eat. For example, Ratan Tata. For example, Sudha Murthy. They're big shot. They're big people. They're big names. But simple living, high thinking. Okay, these are some of the most important responsibilities and prerogatives which we have studied in terms of status. It is a role that has become regularized, standardized, and formalized in society, that at large or in any specific occasions or associations or society plays a very important role. Okay, so roles and status is a concept which you guys need to know. Then it comes to control. Controlling takes place, which is most generally the concept of sociology, where you have to maintain the norms and values. Okay, when you have to try that, okay, all these things of enforcing the values, maintaining a proper deviant behavior with individuals, maintaining your groups, okay, maintaining your norms and values, structuring it in properly, these things are very important. Now, what is a social control? Either it will be a formal one or informal one, that's okay. But when the codified, systematic, and other formal mechanism of control is used, it is known as formal social control. Okay, so there are agencies and mechanism of formal social control. For example, law and the state. In the model society, the mechanisms and the agencies of social control are emphasized. Otherwise, it was not the major, it was not the same actually. We have seen a huge drastic change pre-colonial period and the post-colonial period. But things definitely have happened and changed for a good. Things have definitely happened and changed for the good. Now, coming to the third chapter, that's understanding social institutions. Okay. The point here of institution brings into marriage, relationships, politics, economics, class status, all these things, ethnicity. But why we are trying to discuss about it? Because institutions are the rules and regulations which we acknowledge by different customs and rules and regulations of any culture, or a participation to the same. For example, marriage can be in this caste or that caste, but they will have these rules and you will have that. It can be viewed as a state, it can be viewed as a religion, it can be viewed as a family, or it can be in education itself. That's a very important part to know what exactly social institutions are. So, the concept of social institutions, the moment they ask you, please remember there can be different concepts which can be conflicting in sociology. Okay, definitely. There can be times where you're studying about functionalist and conflict perspectives. This plays a very important role. So, any questions and doubts still here? Aditi, Rashi, Rani, others? Hi Nelsa. Good evening. Welcome to the class, beta. Why are you not coming to the classes? Okay, you're not keeping well. All right, no problems. Just take care of yourself, beta. Okay. So, understanding social institution, this chapter is not keeping well. Okay. Understanding this chapter, we have studied about the different views. Functionalist view is more complex with different set of rules, norms, beliefs, okay, relationship which arise to different sort of needs of the society, whereas institutions exist to satisfy the social needs. So accordingly, we find informal and formal social institutions in societies such as family, religion. These are the examples of informal social institutions, while law is formal, education is formal. These are institutions, okay, where you consider your family, when you consider people from the outside, and all these roles are very very important. Okay, I'm hoping that remember the functionalist and the conflicts views. Okay, conflicting and different understanding of the concepts and sociology. We have also studied about what kinship, what family, what marriage is, and whereas conflict view is which is not placed equally in the society. The institutions which are familial, religious, political, economic, legal, educational, okay, all these things will actually operate in the interest of the section of society in terms of class, caste, gender. Dominant will not just dominate people. Okay. Hi Arundhati. Social institutions need not be religious institutions, but all religious institutions are social institutions. Very good. That's a valid point. And yes, a very more important point about social institution is that this is very different from the key aspects of thought process. When we speak about the cognition involved here, the social institutions are now, for example, few people believe in marriage, few people just don't. Okay, so for them it is a altogether a new ball. Okay, are bodies which define sociological views and range round areas. Okay, these are the most important aspects of the conflict view and the functionalist view. Now, think how, for example, that these are about the opportunities. What about the people who are the possessed or the people who are privileged and dispossessed? Not everybody will have the same opportunity. For example, even if you're studying and you have a job, is it necessary that you will have everything the other people have? It's not possible. It's impossible. Okay. Now moving ahead, family, marriage, kinship. These are few of the most important part. So go through it. Okay. The definitions are given here. Okay. Before we move ahead, let me tell you one more thing. The entire chapter of social institutions, the most important part here will be the definitions of monogamy. Okay. The definition of polygamy with examples. Please remember. Okay. Please remember that these are very very important, that you need to take care of it. Not just this. Okay, one second. The rules of endogamy and exogamy, this is point number 2, which plays a very important role in this chapter. So why I'm telling you these things? Correct, families type of nuclear and joint family. Very true, Arundhati, good job. Okay, so now Arundhati, is this Arundhati Bhattacharya or is this Urja or is this Nitesh? I want to know. Okay, so these are some defining basic concepts of family, kinship, and marriage. Okay, what exactly is work, how people get work, whether they are salaried, whether they are studied, whether they are qualified, whether they are literate, whether they are illiterate. So, this is a condition of work and getting work, which is very, very important. Okay, what is economic life? Okay, along with this, I wanted to ask you guys that do you have any questions till this chapter? Okay. Uh, Nelsa says, ma'am, Arundhati is only Urja and Nitesh. Okay, any which ways, all right. Okay, so Rashi, Aditi, Nelsa, all of you guys. Nelsa, okay, no problem. Leave it, beta. All of you, thanks for watching. I'm going to join you guys very, very soon. Um, it's okay. Okay. Let me just tell you guys that we are going to join for the next class in which we will continue from culture and socialization. And then we move to the next chapter of the next book. Okay. I'm going to see you guys for the plus class tonight. I'm sure Rashi is not going to attend it because she's going to be busy. Aditi, Nelsa, all the other students, whoever is watching, once again, just go check out the Unacademy Learning app and get on board and join the plan and take up the plan which is going to benefit you for your own good, and let's crack it, and wishing you all the very best. And I hope we do the second part of this marathon class very, very soon, and I help you with the second book. And take care, god bless, stay safe.